So this is the result of our region selector. We can see that we have 5 new regions, and when we choose something, the background changes, and then the page title kind of specify that, and also there's some chips describing what the climate is, and then eventually we will filter the images as well by that climate. But at the moment, we're just implementing the selector and the chips and the background. To start with, so at the moment we can see from our page that the home page includes a background region, a select region, which we are going to implement in the page title. So this whole gradient image is a site background, and page title is this thing here. We are going to change that according to the region we select. This is a list of fixed region. We are limiting to just 5 regions for now. Instead of have everything, we just limit that to 5 regions, and each region will have an ID and a label for displaying, and the chips, word chips to describe like what sort of words to describe it. So we'll put those chip words underneath the title here. So first of all, we need to decide whether the state should live. The state is the region itself, since the title and background in the select box, their common ancestor is the home page. So we will put the state on the home page. So we will go to the page, drag page site here, page file here, and we'll put the state, which is called site region. And we will this is not automatic detection here. So we just let the user select it instead. And we will talk about a little bit about why we don't use context, not yet in this case. We'll just use that for a shared state for now. So the site background, I have already sort of changed a little bit about this component to give it different moods based on the region selected. So we just put, for now, the site region. So we just make sure that we pass this parameter in so that it can display the proper background. And then we're going to implement this region select, which is the one that's actually setting the region, because this is a child component of the component that has the state. We will make sure we pass a function to this component instead of just letting it change the state by itself. Because in React, we have one directional data flow, which is parent to the child and not two-way data binding. Set site region. So on the region select, we're going to receive these variables as an object, and I think we call that region change or region select. So this will be needing a type just so that the function has a restriction as to what sort of parameters it accepts. So we are going to put that type here, which is basically a type. So we're talking about the type of the parameter, which is a string here, and also a function on region select. And this function will take a value and return nothing. So this is like a handler function. So then we are going to put the select box in. And set the value to the region passed. And then we're going to make a list of drop by the region that's available in this file. So we will import this file. Import regions. So this is a name, because in regions we didn't specify default. So we have to name this import and have just copied the exact name here. So now we are restricting that, and then we are going to read each region and create an option for it. So regions map. We're going to take a region and create an option for it, which is option is that option there, and then put the label in as well. So this will generate a list of options for the select box. And then finally, when it's changed, we are going to pass this state. We're going to close call this function when the select box is changed by calling this function that's passed to us, which is effectively return the value back to the parent for it to change the state. And when that change, other elements will change accordingly. So we're just checking that our drop-down box has the options, and we will quickly look at the value will be correct. So this is our select box, and then we have the tropical name here, as well as, so this is from the regions file. So so we have that already. Yeah, so next we're going to just change the site title now. So on the page title, we will need to put some chips here to describe the climate profile. So we will, because the title itself will need the region name, so we pass the region in by region. And then again, we will need to define the type here. Go to page title and define and pass this variable in site region, and then make sure that we define the object's type here, parameter type. So that will be string. Yeah, so now we are going to put this title in. So we need to, again, because we're only passing the ID, now we need to get the label. So we will find the actual region object by importing regions, and then do a find, make sure that we find this region that's matched to our site region parameter. Yes, so now we got the object. Then now, so we're going to put this title in here, which is a region label, and this region is possible to return a empty string or empty object. So we use a kind of type check, the nil checker to check for it being nil, and only when the label exists is going to display that. So we will put a dash here to make sure that it's kind of this. But then we have a problem when there's no region selected. It's gonna give you that dash. So we'll be using a conditional thing here. So we will say that if the region exists, actually we will try and put that the whole label thing in a different variable. So we will put the variable here, like the region label. We'll make that equals to if region and label both exist, then we will display. Otherwise, we'll give it empty string. And then, so we'll put the label. So we'll put the region label in here. Again, if it's empty, then we will show empty string. Otherwise, we will give a template string, which includes that dash there, and then the label, the region label here with this kind of syntax. So region label. So this just means that the template string can include literal string as well as variables. So it's a little bit easier to read. It's kind of read. You don't need concatenation or anything like that. You just put the value in a template. So now when we look at the site, then we can see that it's gone. If we do something, then we have this dash. Otherwise it would be gone. So this is how that region works. Finally, we will add those chips in with the description words from the regions. So for each region, there is some short words that would describe that climate. So we will put those in as chips. Yeah, so now for each chip, we have the region. We have the region already, the region object, and we will have the chips. Again, making sure that all the nil values are checked. And then we will map each chip object to a span so that they look like little chips on the screen. Yes, so we will need to make sure that we pass this parameter like so, and then we'll close the bracket properly. So this will give us the wordings that we saw previously from the config file. And then we will make sure that this will be in the row by using Tailwind utility classes. So that's flex. Default is row. So all these span will be in the row. We'll give it a bit of a gap and make sure that they are not taking up the spaces too much. It's kind of subtle chips on the screen so that you can kind of just browse quickly. Yes. And we will make sure that they will have a proper border around them and some padding, maybe on a horizontal padding of 1, and make sure that the corner is like rounded. Yes, so make sure that it's kind of like that. Yes, so I think horizontal, I think maybe a little bit bigger gap to make it looking more comfortable. And then we can make sure so I think that maybe we'll stop for now. All the other theme related changes will be in the next video, but for now we will have this kind of interesting look for each theme. So the user can select the garden the region they are in, so that to make sure that fits their goals. I hope you enjoy following along with me, and I will see you in the next video.